Up until now, I've survived the cold, hunger, weather, and pollution of the Industrial Revolution, and even the radiation of the nuclear age, including a reactor meltdown. But now, in the space age, I find myself on the planet Mars, battling a parasitic alien foe, one which is all too eager to overrun my mining outpost, and even my home back on planet Earth. This mod pack takes you through 4 ages of history: the Industrial Revolution, the Nuclear Age, Space Age, and lastly, the Interstellar Age. Each of these is based loosely off of assumed historical progression or theoretical sci-fi progression when it comes to the later ages. Each presents its own unique opportunities and challenges, building off of what came before. At present, I'm nearing the end of the Space Age, which culminates in the construction of a Black Hole Fusion Reactor. If all goes well, this reactor will be mine by the end of this video, and with it, I can ride off gloriously into the sunset of the final age of this mod pack. Ah, home sweet home, away from home. Home on Mars, a very cramped home, although mostly indestructible, which is kind of the point, given that the parasites are not very far away. Ow. High voltage lines are such a liability, good grief. Man, it feels like forever since I've been here. Kinda has, a little bit. Although, things look about the same. Parasite biome is still over there. Very ominous in the background. I suppose I should probably go check on it. I seem to remember blowing up a little bit of it last time, but I think I had some unfinished business to attend to. In the last video, I blew open this parasite node with a mortar, leaving the core exposed. I can stop the further spread of the biome by removing the hive core block. Yep, let's see if I can mine this without getting swarmed. Oh, no, that's not good. They're swarming. That was a lot faster than I thought. Oh my god, it's one of these things. This is so bad. These things take forever to kill, even with the flamethrower. And see, look at that, it's healing. It's so lame. Oh, that was a little bit loud. Thanks a lot for flamethrower. A little bit more throwing of flame and less deafening of me would be nice. That was a little bit ridiculous. Dude, I hate assimilated Endermen so much. It's so bad. Alright, here we go. Let me get it this time. Come on, come on, come on. Nice, I got it. Parasites are too slow. And what that thing does, it would have allowed the parasite biome to keep spreading its borders further, like getting closer to my base, but now it will stop. It's not going to delete the biome, but it won't get any bigger. Look at all those dudes over there. Well, I think it's time to actually go do something a little bit productive. Not to say that stopping parasites from spreading isn't productive, but I actually am on Mars for a reason. I need to locate some things, find some things, mine some resources so that I can eventually make a Black Hole Fusion Reactor. I'm on Mars for 2 reasons. Firstly, to locate a Mars dungeon and get a tier 3 rocket schematic. And secondly, to get a bunch of Desh, an ore found only underground on Mars and occasionally in mineral veins also on Mars. Typically, the easiest way that I've found to locate these dungeons is by flying really high into the air with my F-22 Raptor and then just looking at the ground and seeing if I see any suspicious openings like that right down there. That's exactly what I'm looking for. That was a lot quicker than the moon dungeon. Moon dungeon actually took a while to find. But I will do the traditional strafing run. We're gonna go down, just blow it up a little bit, let them know we're on our way. Oh, I shouldn't land here. That might cause a little bit of damage. Maybe I should land somewhere a little bit smoother. Well, here we go. Let's pack this back up, put it in my backpack, carried it around. Gotta go down here. Yeah, I wish I had missiles in my jet. I need to put some more missiles there. I could have done even more damage. Oh, look at that. There's actually Desh right there. That's what I'm looking for. It's what I need to collect a lot of. I'll get out my energy sword. That might be even better for this. It does an awful lot of damage. Ooh. Ooh, enchanted books. That's actually one of the better things about these dungeons is all the enchanted books you get. That was anticlimactic. Oh my god, it didn't get out of my face. A lot of food as well. I'm not gonna run out of food. Actually, I'm happy to have the food because I go through it faster than I'd like. Uh-oh. I seem to have run out of oxygen. I really should have been paying better attention to that. Luckily, it's a well-known fact that suffocation can be staved off for a while by consuming large quantities of deluxe nachos. In this circumstance, I should have plenty of said nachos to make it back to my base. Very cool. Actually, I made it just in time. I almost barely in the nick of time. I almost died. It was so close. Can't you see? Yeah. I actually could have, until I ran out of food, I could have survived. It's a little bit silly, but hey, it works. I'm not complaining about not dying really far away and losing all my stuff. My only set of space gear. Hey, but this is why we have oxygen compressors and oxygen collectors back in my little obsidian base. It's exactly for moments like this when I need to refill my stuff. Well, I found the boss room. It was actually a fairly small dungeon, so it didn't take me very long to get to the boss room. Here goes nothing. Oh my goodness, it is what is it, a Cerebus creeper? Cerebus three-headed dog? I think so. I'll have to look that up. Oh great, there's baby creepers as well. You know, I'm not feeling very intimidated right now. And is it just me? But I'm not particularly intimidated. Although I'm slightly more intimidated now that it's invulnerable to swords. I'm gonna be honest, Galacticraft boss fights are pretty much just clown shows. That was very special. That's the best word I can think of to describe that as very special, but I got what I came here for. I got the tier 3 rocket schematic from the loot chest. Not to mention some enchanted books, but mainly, it's that rocket schematic. I guess I could break my way out of here. Maybe I'll even find a cave on the way out, which is... Actually, there's a cave over here. Look at that, there's Dash. That was so convenient. I guess I'll start my dash mining right now. Oh, I even just found the exit. I wasn't meaning to find that, but at least I now know where it is when I want to leave here. It'll be pretty soon. I don't need to get a ton of dash. I'm going to set up an excavator shortly, which will be able to mine the dash for me. Might as well take some of these nice Mars blocks. I don't think, or Mars dungeon blocks, whatever they're called. I don't think you can craft them, and they look kind of cool. I'm not sure what I'll use them for, but I honestly just like hoarding stuff. That's a lot of the reason I grab things. Luckily, the storage crate that I lost in my last video didn't actually contain my machine blocks. With these materials, I can build an excavator multi-block and use it to mine dash automatically, once I actually locate the proper mineral vein, of course. My favorite, core sample drills. Rather tedious, but quite effective at locating mineral veins. All you do is you stick it in a chunk, you just give it some power with a capacitor next to it, or you can even put wires on it. I don't know why you'd want to go to all that trouble, but you set it there and you start it mining, and you will figure out what, if anything, is underground. Like right here, there seems to be an awful lot of oil. Do I detect some freedom and democracy on their way? I think so. Ooh, a coal vein. That's actually one of the better veins because it gives you diamonds, but I don't really need diamonds. Oh, look at that. A Martian deposit. That's actually exactly what I need, and that's like, what, the 4th or 5th vein I checked? That's way faster than other times. But I'm not complaining. Well, I have to build the excavator now. It's been a while since I did this, but I used to do it so many times, I might even be able to build it from memory. I wouldn't count on that, but well, you never know. Okay, I wasn't actually able to build it from memory. I remembered a little bit of it, but not that much of it. Now what I have to do is I have to run some power from my gas turbine in my bunker and give it to the excavator. So I've made this little wall pass-through with my connectors for the wires. It's a nice little trick if you need to get wires through walls and you don't want to actually break like your wall and have an opening. Either way, now the excavator's getting powered. For some reason, it doesn't seem to be at full power, which isn't the end of the world, but it's just a little weird because that gas turbine should be providing more than enough power and there's nothing else using power. But hey, I won't complain. It's mining. I have a slight problem. I can't find the world spike chunk loader that I brought with me. It's possible that it was in the lost crate, or perhaps it simply vanished into the Nerf bullet dimension. Regardless, I need a world spike. As it would happen, I actually have all the materials on me to make the world spike, except for the gold ingots. I always keep diamonds in my backpack, as one does. While it might be faster just to go home and get some gold, there is a way I can get it here. Actually, I could probably get almost any ore that I wanted here if I needed it badly enough. You know, that means I have to find a certain mineral vein somewhere else that has gold. I'm literally going to move my excavator to a different vein, like this copper vein here, which happens to contain a little bit of gold. I can move this whole thing over to the copper vein, start it mining, and get gold, and not go home. This is totally more work than it would be just to go home and get it, but I'm kind of stubborn. I wanted to actually not go home, and I figured out a way to do it. Was it worth it? Probably not, but I'm happy I did. And now I even have gold and copper here for some reason if I ever need more of that. You never know. I already brought a lot of obsidian, I had my diamonds, there's only lots of endermen around, and that means I have a world spike, all without having to go anywhere. Perfect. I just give it some void powder, and that gives it fuel. Looks like 12 hours per piece of void powder, which is really good, because that stuff's a little expensive. Okay, the excavator's back. It's back where it used to be. It is ready to keep mining the Martian deposit and acquiring Dash. Before I go home, I thought I'd just build a little launch pad because I don't actually have anywhere permanent to set up my rocket when I leave this place. I also realized I hadn't filled in all of the walls of my bunker with obsidian. That's kind of the whole point of why I brought so much obsidian in the last video, is so that I could surround everything here with a mostly indestructible block. And it's all because of the parasites. They can break through a lot of stuff. Some of them can break obsidian, but it's better than nothing. That poor creeper. This little thing here is a refueling station. It'll take my rocket fuel, and once I stick the rocket down like that, it'll magically add fuel to its internal tank, which is a little bit slow. You know, do I want to sit here the whole time waiting for this thing to get fueled up, or do I want to maybe try to make some parasite weapons? Meaning, do I want to go fight some parasites and collect their drops? It would be kind of a flex. It would be kind of cool to have some of the living weapons. Oh my god, what is that thing? They didn't tell me the Parasite mod is actually just Australia Simulator. Good thing I brought a flamethrower. Yeah, I think I'll do this while I wait for my rocket to fuel. You know, it seems like a good use of time. Oh my god, get out of here. That is one of the big boys. And it's just healing. Maybe I should avoid it. Utterly annihilated. Ooh, yellow eye bone. That's definitely something I know I need. You know, if I didn't have this jetpack, I would be dead many times over. That's really the only thing keeping me alive. Oh my goodness, that's not good. I really would like to avoid dying. I have way too many status effects. Well, I've killed a lot of parasites, and I got a lot of stuff. I don't know how much of it is actually useful. I think some of it is not particularly useful, but I'm gonna go home now. I have done enough, I've seen enough. This spider is about to get fried. Goodbye. Home sweet home. The land of fewer parasites, at least for now. I'm sure we'll see them again at some point. Okay, why are all these dogs freaking out? I don't know what they're chasing. Normally they would chase a skeleton, but there seemed to be a distinct lack of skeletons there. That's kind of weird. I'm gonna assume everything's fine. Well, here we are, back at my factory slash nuclear facility. It's a combination of things, but it's good to be back. I took this dash armor from the loot chest in that dungeon because I can actually put it in my arc furnace and melt it down into dash ingots. I can recycle it. Well, it wouldn't be my very own home if it weren't for my electrical problems. That's really what makes it feel like home, is pollution getting up into my wiring areas and destroying my wires, because that's how pollution works. It's a non-stop problem that plagues me. Another problem that plagues me a lot is chronic low diesel. The issue is most of my power is derived from diesel, and I never seem to have enough. Never seem to have enough ammo either. It's another problem. Here we can see that my dash armor is being turned into dash ingots. And obviously I have the normal dash ingots from the stuff I mined, plus whatever I can get out of that excavator. You know, I'd really like, this is kind of unrelated to anything, but I'd really like to automate gunpowder at some point, so that I can automate bullets. But it needs charcoal, and I can only get that from wood, and if I can't automate wood, which is actually possible, but I can't right now. If I can't automate that though, then I can't really automate gunpowder. But I have bigger, more immediate problems, like a blood moon. Oh my god, can you not do that? Get out of here. See, the parasites, I told you they were going to be here as well. Just a little bit less obvious, a little bit more subtle. While I'm working on basic housekeeping activities, I might as well try to build some more of the ceiling down here. Mainly just so I can stop having my wires get broken by pollution. That's the biggest problem. I can make these little pass-throughs with these blocks, and that'll actually prevent pollution from going anywhere, which would be amazing. Uh-oh, that's not good. If you've watched the previous video, you'll know what that sound is, but if you haven't, well, that sound is the sound of a tier 3 beacon transforming into a tier 4 beacon. And if you don't know what a beacon is, let's just say it's a big, bad parasite that spawns other parasites. And it's near me. Let me guess, it's probably in the big parasite pit from the last video. That probably is where it is. It's a lovely description of it, but it's pretty accurate. Yeah, it's down there. Luckily, I learned how to kill them pretty effectively last time, and it's literally just you dump lava on them. Oh my god. I am going to... Oh, okay. I haven't even got my stuff back. I gotta go. That's not good. Those things are very bad. Ah! Phew, that was almost bad. You gotta be kidding me. You, my tier 4 beacon, can eat my high velocity flaming steel rods. That's what you get, stupid thing. You're no match for my lava and my railgun. The only problem is there's still a tier 3 back in there that I have to get. You know what would have been really helpful earlier? Night vision goggles. If parasites ever show up again like this, I'll be ready and waiting to enter goon mode. Oh yeah, normal circuits, my least favorite thing in the game to craft. Oh hey, check it out, night vision goggles. And it just takes little redstone batteries. Why is this thing taking so many railgun bolts? I don't get it. It's sitting in lava. Now it's moving in lava. Get out of here. Okay, well, I finally got it. Now I can actually do something else. seemingly obligatory power interruptions that had plagued me for so long have returned, hence the need to restart my nuclear reactors while I fix my pump jacks and turbines. One of these days I will be done with, shall we say, housekeeping activities and parasite infestations, taking my time away from more important matters. Well, are these pump jacks, what are they doing? They seem to be functioning now that my reactors are on. I just have to actually make sure that gas turbine is restarted, and it... Problem with the gas turbine is it can't actually restart itself. I have to do some weird stuff to it to get it to spin up and actually light the fuel in it. It's a little bit too realistic, I think. Not that I've ever actually worked on a gas turbine in real life, but... we will trust the mod makers for the purpose of this video. This whole system here is a little bit complicated. The Cliff Notes version of it is that exhaust from the gas turbine is able to create enough steam to power the steam turbine. That's the very simple version of it. This linked ender chest is now calibrated to the excavator output on Mars. It should deliver the extracted dash straight to my base. The last housekeeping task I need to do is make more food. Despite being on this world for 700 plus days, I have yet to automate food, including all 5 needed nutrients. In the meantime, I must craft once more by hand the delighted meal. If you wish to see this crafting in more detail, please refer to an earlier video. I'm surprised I didn't already have a snow golem to collect snow. Maybe, you know, I might have, and it might have died. That's probably what happened. I had no idea this little flamethrower turret still had napalm in it. That's pretty cool. It's still doing its job. Right next to my animal trap, which is collecting a lot of meats for me. I have way too much fun farming in this mod pack. I don't know why. I know some people hate Pam's Harvestcraft, but I have a lot of fun using it. Although at some point, I need to automate the food. And then I won't have to farm as much, which will make me sad, but it will save time. Finally, I can begin. I need to acquire large quantities of osmium ore due to benefits it has for circuit making, and I also need large quantities of titanium ore, which along with Dash is what I primarily need for the Black Hole Fusion Reactor. Given that mechanism was added retroactively to this mod pack, I actually have to go kind of far away into unloaded chunks, previously unloaded chunks, to find any osmium. And also we seem to be finding a suspicious amount of parasites, but hopefully some osmium as well. I actually have to mine it conventionally. I'm so used to just throwing an excavator on the ground and getting stuff automatically. This is kind of a shock, actually. Well, I found a little bit of osmium, not as much as I wanted. You know, I could actually try to locate nether osmium ore, which would be double the density of it, so it would be a lot more worth my time. Let me go see if I can find some. I tried visiting the nether in the hopes of finding the richer nether osmium ore, but to no avail. I was unable to locate any of it despite traveling far into new chunks. The only thing I did find was some cursed water. I need 8 osmium blocks to craft the metallurgic infuser, but once I have this machine, making circuits, especially processors, will be much less of a hassle. That was very unsuccessful for osmium, but I found a lot of extra random stuff, but I don't need any of it. Okay, my plane's having problems. We're not doing too well. This is not great. I just crashed my plane into the forest. I think I did more damage to the trees than the plane, though. Little bit of smoke from the wing, but it's fine. We can probably we can buff it out with the blowtorch, because that's how that works. Well, I'm really far away again. Oh, good grief. You know, I'm gonna let you guys fight each other. It seems like you guys are a little bit distracted. Oh my god, I don't know what's happening up here, but I'm going back down. I'm not dealing with the parasites. No! The dispatcher teleported the parasite right next to me. Gotta get out. Gotta go. That was not good. Oh hey, a dungeon. Hopefully with no parasites. Yeah, it's one of these dungeon things. It's like a bigger dungeon that has a bunch of spawners and a bunch of loot and stuff. It's all dungeon loot, but I can still... You can find some decent stuff. Oh my god, they're still here. They're just waiting. They're probably even trying to dig down to where I am. Guys, it's daytime. Can you not be here right now? I'm going home. Oh my god, I almost hit that black hole. I don't know if you saw that. I almost annihilated my wing with that. Well, I have a lot of osmium now, and I can double what I have, so I'll have close to 2 stacks of it once it's run through the crusher. Which is great, as long as it's enough for 8 blocks. That's all I need right now. Although I'll need more later. Well, here's 7 osmium blocks, and there's more of it smelting, so yeah, we're gonna be fine. I'll start assembling this metallurgic infuser recipe here in my advanced crafting table. And there's the other 2 blocks getting used in the steel casings, the mechanism. Steel casings, there's probably several steel casings in this mod pack. Unfortunately, I need to make a processor circuit still, which is oh so fun to make. But the whole point of this metallurgic infuser is that, well, it won't be as awful to make circuits. We seem to have a slight problem in that I'm not getting additional resources from Mars. I'm not sure what's happening. I'm not sure if I want to know right now. I find it funny that I totally forgot that I spent a bunch of time in an earlier video automating the deceptively complex calcium sulfate. Boy was I happy when I rediscovered my own work, because it sure makes crafting elite plating easier. Ah, the tritanium plate, made from compressed desh and tritanium ingots. I'll be needing a lot of this. Well, here are these vents. I need 2 of them. But really all I need now is the processor circuit. So this is going to be the last time I make an immersive intelligence processor circuit. If you want to see how this is done, go watch one of the previous videos, but I'm not showing a lot of this again. Let's just say it's a lot of waiting around, and it's very slow and annoying. But nonetheless, I have a metallurgic infuser now, and I'm going to show you how this works. And the first thing I'm actually going to do with it is I'm going to make 4 processor circuits, because I want to make some better armor. You see right now I have advanced combat armor, but there's a upgraded version of advanced combat armor that's an exosuit. The reason I haven't made it yet is because each piece needs a processor circuit board, and I was not spending that much time making 4 of them, but I can now. Of course, since the recipe is finicky, I have to fully repair my existing pieces of armor before I can even think about crafting this, but now that I have done that, I can go ahead and make these other pieces, like these motors here. Gotta make 1 motor per thing. And that right there, you can see is the recipe that I made for the processors. Alright, so the metallurgic infuser, we stick some redstone in it and some iron, and then we get enriched alloy or something like that. It's very cool. And then we use said alloy to make some speed upgrades, so this isn't so darn slow. Then I pulverize some diamonds to get diamond dust or diamond grit or diamond powder, whatever you want to call it. It could be several things. And then we make, what's that, advanced alloy, something like that, out of the existing alloy and the diamond. And then we make atomic alloy. We're going places fast. And the actual osmium ingots you can turn into basic circuits, and then those basic circuits get upgraded with the alloys. And eventually you end up with processor circuit boards like that. Which means I get to make my exosuit now. It's very nice. And any additional things that I want to make that need processors will not take 5 years anymore. Okay, now that I have this full set of armor, it should make me super fast, and I should like jump pretty high and also be pretty immune to knockback. I don't feel very fast, something's wrong. Yeah, so this armor needs power from power cells, so that's a bit of a predicament. That would explain why I'm not particularly fast. Uh-oh. Making power cells in good modded Minecraft fashion need their own special multi-block machine, one which I do not currently possess. Luckily, the fabricator multi-block is not very hard, and it's even less hard than it would be if I hadn't just made the metallurgic infuser, so that I can make circuits super fast now. It's such a lifesaver. And here we are. Ow. I really need to do something to speed up my plastic automation. It's only partially automated right now, but that's something for a different time. While I'm waiting to get plastic, I realized I could make these protection upgrades, which is kind of a way of enchanting tech guns armor, because you can't actually really put enchantments on it very well normally, but you can make these specific items that will upgrade it and then put it in an upgrade bench. So that's what I did. Now supposedly they have a couple levels of protection. Well, here's my plastic. I got a stack of plastic. I'm gonna make an entire stack's worth of these energy cells, because if I'm gonna make them, I might as well make a lot of them. That's usually how I do things in this mod pack, if I have any of the resources. Of course, I need another block. I need a charging station, separate from my existing charging station, mind you, so I can actually charge my power cells. Well, here we are. At least it's working. And now it's the moment of truth. How fast am I? I better be super fast. I better be fast as F, boy. Oh yeah, I am. I'm pretty fast. This is pretty good. Was it worth it? I mean, that's debatable. We're gonna assume it's worth it. Check it out. A superconductor magnet. Very fancy. As I mentioned, I need dash to make titanium plates, which are needed for a black hole fusion reactor. But the actual reason that it prompted me to go to Mars in the last video was my inability to craft an energy collector Mark I without a space-time equalizer, which I couldn't make without dash. And the whole reason I wanted the energy collector was to make glowstone automatically. All of this was originally for automatic glowstone. Thankfully, I'm now able to almost craft a space-time equalizer. All that remains is an isolinear circuit Mark II, which I can't quite make yet. What I can make, though, is a redstone furnace, which will allow me to double my dash ore because the crusher can't double it. Or at least I would like to make the redstone furnace, except it needs lithium ion cells, which need, get this, lithium manganese dioxide alloy. This wouldn't be hard if it weren't for the fact that manganese dioxide ingots can only be made by infusing manganese oxide with oxygen in a fluid infuser. And I don't have a fluid infuser. So, what do I have to do other than make the fluid infuser? Well, yeah, that's about my only option. You see, I actually already have made the fluid infuser, right, but it's being used in some other automation. So, I'll make it again. It's fine. I need to have just a usable copy of every single nuclear-craft machine at this point. And there we are. Fluid infuser. Since I'm going to be using it for oxygen, I already actually have oxygen automated. It's just there's an oxygen collector over here. It just pulls it from the air or something like that. It's kind of magical. And might as well just connect the infuser straight to that so that it gets oxygen gas quite quickly. And there we are, manganese oxide, or no, manganese dioxide powder, which then gets combined with lithium, and then you get the alloy for the lithium ion cells. That's way more annoying than it should be. You need to get out of my face. Goodbye. And here we are. Very cool. Electric furnace. I don't care about that. All I needed that for was so I can craft my redstone furnace. Now that I have a redstone furnace, I have to make a special augmentation for it. Because nothing's ever easy. I can't just put the ore in there and have it double. I have to make this augmentation, which... there it is. I've now done that. Now once I put this in the furnace, it should be good to go. Of course, nothing's easy. I can't just put it in there. I have to upgrade the furnace. Luckily, I've gotten upgrades from questbook rewards, but still, it's a little bit frustrating. At last, I can get doubled dash. That was way more annoying than it should have been. In order to make an isolinear circuit Mark II, I need a molecular inscriber. Well, this machine isn't particularly difficult to craft. It only functions in zero gravity conditions like those of a space station. Well, I'm not missing much, so that's good. Although I have noticed I'm missing heavy radiation shielding for my armor, because I'm pretty sure the existing radiation shielding that I had on my previous set of armor that I used to craft my current set is gone, and since there's a nuclear reactor above my ceiling, or at least pretty darn close, seems like it might be a good idea. This time I'm actually planning to make heavy radiation shielding. I might as well invest the time into protecting myself from liquefying. At least I won't liquefy as quickly. It's not particularly hard to make radiation shielding. There's just a couple tedious steps you have to go through. You have to make like bioplastic sheets of transparent stuff. You have to make a few alloys. You have to craft a couple tiers of plates. Why are there zombies appearing in my basement from over there again? I'm not actually quite sure. Why is there another one? They're falling down through my ceiling. See, this is why I need to finish my ceiling. I'm getting too distracted from the important things in life, like having a ceiling. Oh my god, why are... Okay, this, you need to die. I hate these things so much. I don't know why it's in my base. I don't know why it's breaking my torches. Actually, I do, but I don't like it. It needs to not do that in my base. Oh, hey, look at that. There's a tier 1 back in... Well, not anymore, but there was. For a very short amount of time. Bro, I'm so tired of waiting for plastic. I'm gonna do something about this soon. Well, I can use the plastic to make advanced plating so that I can help make my heavy radiation shielding. There we go. Heavy rad shielding, let's go. It's the best I can make for my armor. Oh right, it doesn't go in an anvil. I always forget this. You put it in the crafting table. It's kind of weird. And just to make everything more annoying, I actually have to combine it with 100% durability armor, meaning I have to fix my armor, even though they've only lost like 2 durability or something stupid. But such is mod in Minecraft. Well, now that I have that done, let me go back and make the molecular assembler. And maybe I won't be distracted for another 10 minutes. So it needs 3 precision tools. These are pretty easy. They just need some rods, some aluminum, some steel, a couple motors maybe. Nothing terribly crazy. I don't know why, but these precision tools are kind of satisfying to make, and the textures are really nice. Just makes the whole thing satisfying. Ha! There we are. Molecular assembler. Let's go. So, if I'm going to make a space station, I'm going to need some power in the space station. So, why don't I make solar panels? Specifically, Galactic Craft solar panels. I might as well do that. I am not touching Nuclear Craft solar panels if I can help it. Those are really bad. They're inefficient and they're expensive. If I'm going to build a space station, I'll want an oxygen supply up there. In the world of Galactic Craft, creating an infinite supply of oxygen is as simple as putting large quantities of leaf blocks near an oxygen collector. Why do baby skeletons exist? This is not something that should exist. Alright, I need some oxygen machines for my space station. I need an oxygen collector, and I need an oxygen sealer. You use the collector, well, it's pretty self-explanatory. It collects oxygen from the leaves, like I said, and then you pipe the oxygen into the oxygen sealer, and it will then, once there's a valid sealed area, it will fill that space with oxygen, and you don't have to use oxygen tanks. It's pretty cool. But unsurprisingly, all of this takes power. So let's try to make some solar panels. I like to make 16 solar panels, although they're a little bit more annoying than I expected upon closer inspection of these recipes, especially with the silicon. This is kind of a meta thing, but the silicon has been an issue in this mod pack for a while just because of how many types of silicon there are, and trying to get the right one, I'm still in the process of trying to fix it. It's a bit lame. Especially because I realized I can only get the right silicon from quartz, nether quartz, and I don't have nether quartz automated. It's a good thing I have all of this string and plant fibers and hemp fibers lying around. For some reason, crafting aluminum cable thingings for solar panels takes an obscene amount of wool, and I don't have a wool farm. What I do have are unused garden cloches that used to be growing cotton. I used to grow cactus, I used to grow sugarcane. I grew a lot of these things and then just stored up a bunch of it, but I do need to just continuously grow cotton, which I can turn into string, which can be turned into wool. So we'll start with an infinite water source block. It's gonna give our cloche some water. And of course I need to put the cotton in there, but first let's deal with the output. So it's gonna output the cotton itself, which is great, but it also outputs the cotton seeds, which I need to do something with. Maybe I'll delete them. Sounds like a good idea. On second thought, I actually have a better idea. I could do something else with the cotton seeds. What I could do with them instead is put them into a presser, and it will press the cotton seeds and give me cooking oil and grain bait. The grain bait is what you put in traps that collect meat for you automatically without actually killing animals. I don't need the cooking oil, so I can use the trash can to delete the cooking oil. I'm not going to need all that. But I can just store the grain bait, and eventually I could route it into some ground traps if I want to collect meat automatically, which I probably will want to collect meat automatically at some point. Doesn't everyone want to do that? I don't know. It's so expensive nowadays. I wish I could collect meat automatically. Oh cool, it's deleting stuff now. That's great. And it will be storing the grain bait in that storage drawer. And this other storage drawer is going to store our cotton. So that's perfect. That's cotton automated. Here's some aluminum wires. And again, the amount of wool is staggering in these small wires. Although I am in charge of this mod pack, I suppose I could change the recipes if I really wanted to, but it's not so unreasonable that I have to do that. Well, there, I've got the thick wires. I've got enough of those. But that's not the only thing that needs. Well, I've also got the wafers, the advanced wafers. They're very tasty. And we're compressing steel, which I need some of. All this is easy. The hard part is the full solar panels, these items. Easy because it needs more aluminum wires, and it needs solar panel pieces or whatever these are, which take yet more wires. Everything takes wires. It all comes back to wool. That's the problem. Everything needs wool. Out of here. And then these blue solar panel pieces take more silicon, and they even take diamonds, which is a little bit annoying. I mean, diamonds are easier for me to get than wool, but I kind of hate using that many diamonds, but what can I do? Well, what I can do is go get more silicon, which means I need to get more nether quartz. So I think I know where I'll be going here. Very nice. Now I have a lot of nether quartz. This will tide me over for a little while until I have to get so much of it at some point that I decide to make an excavator to mine it, because yes, unsurprisingly, that's the thing that you can do. Rather disappointingly, after all that other stuff that I did, there was barely even 2 stacks of cotton there, which is not a lot of wool when you condense it down. It's a little bit unfortunate. And I still have a lot of solar modules to make. I don't know what those are even called. Here, let me try to make Phytogrow, which is fertilizer. And I should be able to put this fertilizer in the garden cloche, and it might speed up the production of cotton. At least that's what it's supposed to do. Well, it filled up the fertilizer bar. I'm not sure if it's doing anything, so I guess I'll just have to wait. Maybe it is. And regardless of whether or not it's working, it's still too slow. It's actually more efficient to literally go to a village and steal the wool from the village than to wait around for my garden cloche to work. I mean, check that out. Right there, I just got almost a stack of wool. I don't know why I didn't do this from the beginning. Ah, why is there an alien bug? Why are you here? You need to get out of here. It's way too fast. Okay. This is why I don't live in a desert. Alien bugs, don't like that. Well, I think this should be all of the solar pieces that I need, finally. Yep, that's all of them. At least I can make my 16 solar panels now. Yeah, and just think, all of this is for 16 solar panels. That's not very many, if you think about it. I don't think that's going to produce that much power. I mean, it'll produce enough, but it's not, like, insane levels that we're talking here. I mean, technically these are advanced solar panels, and they do look kind of cool. But I think there's even a higher level of solar panel that I can make if I wanted. If I really wanted to just put myself through a bunch of misery, which I don't. Aha! I knew I heard something. Trying to get a tier 2 back in over here. I'm not going to let this guy turn into tier 3 or God forbid a tier 4 back in. I'm not doing that again, especially so close to the surface. That is not good. Everybody good down here? We good? Yeah, you guys look pretty good. Well, since the whole point of me going there is to make isolinear circuit Mark IIs, I should probably make some Mark 1s first. Also, I will actually bring a little bit of the dreaded aluminum wire with me, just in case I need it to connect to something Galacticraft that the leadstone flux ducts won't connect to, but conveniently the flux ducts and the wires do connect to each other, so that's nice. Now that the hard part is out of the way, I'll just make some tin space station decoration block thingies. I don't know if any blocks at all will work for the space station, but I'll just use these. I mean, they're kind of cheap and they look cool. I need to make the airlock pieces as well, because I need an airlock for the whole sealed room thing. If I don't have that, I can't really get in and out very easily, and it'd be a huge pain. Luckily, this stuff is not particularly hard to make. I mean, none of it's going to seem hard after making those solar panels. I suppose I should probably make an oxygen compressor as well. I wasn't going to make one, but I mean, you never know when you might need to refill oxygen tanks, or I might need a new fuel loader as well. I don't know. I may as well make those. They're not that hard to make, and they're kind of just a safety measure to have with me. It's more just like, better to have them and not need them than need them and not have them. Well, here we go. I think I'm actually ready to go do this. Let's go build a space station. I've never built a space station before. All I've done is just had this little pre-built thing. But I'm excited to see how this works. Oh, there goes my barrel. I don't want to lose that. Come back here. Come on. Come on. Get the barrel. Oh, no. Oh, no, that wasn't supposed to happen. You gotta be kidding me. Okay, we'll be right back. Cool, we're all good. We're all back. It's all fine. Nothing happened. Anyways, as you can see, I'm able to use the molecular inscriber here. Uh-oh. I don't seem to be able to break it. I think I need a specific tool for that. It's fine, it's fine. I can figure it out. Well, I'm just gonna build my airlock right here off of one of the sides of my little pre-built space station thing. So far, it's a little bit difficult working in zero gravity, as in you tend to fly all over the place if you're not careful, and sometimes even if you are careful. Oh, this is gonna be a bit of a struggle trying to build this in zero gravity. I'm not so sure I like this. You know, on second thought, maybe I should have brought a building gadget with me. That might have made this a lot easier. Oh my god, what is happening with my movement? I seem to be, like, magnetizing to the blocks or something, and I don't like that. I would like to turn that off if it's possible. Cool, I built the whole structure very slowly and tediously while teleporting from place to place. I really need that to be turned off. If somebody knows how to turn that off or what that is, that would be amazing. But look in here, it's very nice actually. I have a very scenic view of the endless space. Right here I'm going to put a covered cable block thing so I can pass the energy through the wall and still seal the room, because that would be nice to not lose all my oxygen. And on the outside I need to somehow build a solar panel array here. You know, it's easy to do in theory, but in practice when you're teleporting and being magnetized to blocks, it's not very easy. Of course, this is placed 180 degrees the wrong way. Oh, there we go. Now it's connected. Very nice. I'm actually a big fan of these solar panels now that I made them. Next step is for me to get the oxygen up and running. So you can see here I've got these leaf blocks. I'm trying to put them around the space. Dude, whatever this garbage is messing with my movement mechanics is going to make me unalive myself in Minecraft, of course. Heck, maybe doing that would stop whatever's happening. Also, I seem to be filling in most of my windows. I don't have a very scenic view anymore. It's more of a green wall. Hey, look at that. Oh, now it's only using 40 oxygen a second. I don't know why it showed 240 initially. That's kind of weird. Wow, I've discovered that I can put much fewer leaf blocks much closer to the oxygen collected than I'd previously thought, and still get a ton of oxygen from them. I guess I won't have to completely block the nice view out of my windows after all. Now if I stick a capacitor here, I can save up my power and have a buffer in case I start drawing too much of it too quickly. Which I guess I'm not actually doing despite running the molecular inscriber. And check it out, an isolinear circuit Mark II. That's pretty cool. Now if I put the hopper up here, I can insert them automatically. And now I kind of just have to wait for a little bit until I get more of them. Well, I got a stack of them. Let's go home. Let's go back home. I realize now I could actually just jump off my space station and save the rocket fuel, but it's a little bit late. Maybe next time. Home sweet home. Let's make this machine casing. Now we're going to make the Heisenberg compensator. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. It needs an Eye of Ender, meaning I have to use my magic, but it's all good. And there's our space-time equalizer. And just like that, I can finally make myself an energy collector. Interestingly, you can equip the space-time equalizer in the chestplate armor slot, and I think it's supposed to stop you from getting sucked into gravitational anomalies, or something to that effect. Uh-oh. I'm noticing that my durability is slightly decreased on the equalizer. Is that because I got shot with skeleton arrow when I was wearing it? Did it damage my equalizer, meaning I have to make another one now if I want to craft my energy collector? Are you kidding me? While it may initially seem like a calamity, it's actually not the worst thing ever because I already had the Mark II circuits. So I just had to make some more superconductor magnets, but still. So the way this energy collector works is when it's exposed to light, it accumulates EMC and uses it to transmute certain types of items into more fuel or EMC dense versions of themselves. For example, it transmuted this piece of redstone dust into a piece of coal after collecting some EMC. Given long enough, it could take something like a single piece of redstone dust and upgrade it all the way to Eternalist fuel. Interestingly, one of the upgrade steps is a redstone block, so it's possible to easily refill the system by transmuting redstone dust into redstone blocks and recycling some of the blocks back into dust. As I mentioned, I mainly wanted to collect glowstone blocks from the energy collector. However, to do this truly automatically, I'll need more than one collector. I'd like to start automating this, but not outside, so I kind of assumed initially that I needed to actually bring sunlight down into wherever I wanted to automate it, just put it under a skylight basically. But I discovered that it doesn't actually need sunlight, it's just light in general, which I mentioned earlier, but I didn't initially know that when I was first experimenting. Which is helpful. I mean, I don't really want to make a skylight. It's much easier just to put a blaze lantern or some other light block on top of it, and now it's at full charge. That's pretty cool. As I mentioned, I can't fully automate this, or at least I don't want to fully automate it without multiple energy collectors, so all I'm gonna really do now is just learn a little bit about how it works. Like, it looks like the hopper can take it out of the bottom. It doesn't seem like I can extract stuff from the side, which is a little unfortunate. But either way, I filled it up with redstone, and now I've selected it so that it will make only redstone blocks. Well, at some point in the future, I would like to make more of those, but I'm also just happy to have the glowstone because it allows me to fill in my ceiling more. I also happened to notice that there was an awful lot of pollution trapped in a little crevice in the ceiling of my factory. I was hoping that that might have been the why I still die of pollution poisoning every time I go near my turbines, but it unfortunately wasn't. There still is no evidence of pollution anywhere near the turbines despite me dying. It's really annoying. It's time for a trip though. Trip to new unloaded chunks because I ran out of osmium again. And I really need more. And I seem to have found a military outpost faster than I found a decent cave, although here's a cave right here near the outpost. I'm gonna ignore that outpost for now, but don't think I'm forgetting about it. Ooh, it's one of these things, a little mob spawner box. Spawns a bunch of mobs, that's pretty cool. I'm very intimidated. Okay, I made it out alive. It was a great struggle, for sure. Ooh, there's an attack helicopter over there. That should be fun. Once again, I am made almost invulnerable because of my jetpack and the ability to fly away from stuff that I don't like. Despite defeating the helicopter, there's still a small army of NPCs in this base with guns, and they're not very happy with me. Unsurprisingly, I blew up their helicopter, and I'm about to steal their stuff once they're all gone. Oh my goodness, this is not good. Actually, it's just fine. It would be not good if I had bad armor, but it's actually paying off that I spent all that time upgrading my armor and giving it protection and all the fancy stuff. Well, I killed all them, so I can loot their stuff now. Get some nice little bits of ammo and crafting components from these crates here. They're actually like loot crates. That's actually close to like 2.5 stacks once I double it, so that's pretty good, given that I don't really have to use osmium blocks right now. Making superconductor magnets requires ender pearls, which are in short supply. However, it's possible to create more ender pearls by melting resonant endstone into resonant ender using a magma crucible, which is one of the machines I'm making here. It's then possible to combine the resonant ender with cryothium dust in a fluid transposer, thus creating 4 ender pearls. Resonant endstone is very easy to get, but cryothium dust is not, as at this moment it's only possible to derive it from rods dropped by blizz mobs. If I could produce large quantities of cryothium, it would be very useful as a coolant for many things, but alas, I'm afraid I won't be able to mass produce it until I unlock mystical agriculture in the interstellar age. Okay, time for the first checkup on my energy collector. Ooh, look at that. It's 22 redstone blocks. That's pretty good. It's a lot more redstone than I started with. Well, I guess if I want to make more of these energy collectors, I have to make more of the space-time equalizers, meaning I need more superconductor magnets, which is kind of why I made the ender pearls, because those magnets, like I said, they need the pearls. They also need a lot of solenoids. Now, I have a ton of copper, so the copper is not a problem. The magnets are a little bit of a problem, though. Now that I have the additional space-time equalizers, I'm just missing elite solar panels, which are a nightmare to obtain in their own right. Mainly because you have to craft through several tiers to reach elite, and each tier takes 3 of the previous tier to make. Check it out, that's the crafting recipe for one tier 1 or basic solar panel. That's just one, and it takes a lot of those to get to one elite solar panel. This is not going to be good. Not good at all. All I can really do is start though, so I started with the graphite dust, which is made from pulverizing coal. My problems begin with my capacity to craft magnets for copper solenoids. Specifically, the red dye is the problem. Like with my cotton, I used to also automate beetroots in a garden cloche for this exact purpose. I could restart the beetroot production, I suppose, but first, let me go try putting a rose bush in a garden cloche and seeing what happens. Maybe that would work. Well, that didn't work. Beetroots it is. Well, I guess I'll just make another garden cloche, and we'll put that down right next to the other one, and we'll use it to grow beetroots. Very nice. I've already supplied it with water. Let me grab my beetroot. I need one of those so that I can actually grow more. Never mind, I need beetroot seeds. I was a little bit stupid. Beetroots are not particularly helpful. Unfortunately, I can't do anything with the beetroot seeds, which I also will get when I'm growing these, so I'm just going to delete the seeds. I can't even give them, like, put them in the presser and turn them into grain bait. They just need to go away. The beetroots, on the other hand, I'd actually like to automatically turn into red dye, meaning I have to make a crafting block. Like the, what's it called? Some kind of thermal expansion machine. A sequential fabricator, ah yes, that's what it's called, not just a crafting block. I literally went to all the trouble to make one of those just to turn beetroots into red dye automatically. Oh my god, can you not try to break my wall down? I understand there's an invasion, but does that mean you have to try to break my wall and then let the bats in and then the bats are going to try to kill me? I don't like this. Cool, at least the beetroots aren't falling out of the bottom of my machine now, so that's one step. And good. It's finally working automatically, and everything is entering and exiting where it's supposed to. Awesome. We've now automated our red dye and our cotton, and I guess grain bait as well. On a related note, I discovered I could kill 2 birds with 1 stone when it came to producing lapis for blue dye for the magnets. While I could already get lots of lapis in my crusher, I could also get lots of lapis from the induction smelter, along with producing rich slag as a byproduct. I've had my eye on rich slag for a long time as something I wanted because it's used to create the actually good fertilizer, which can then be upgraded to epic fertilizer. The induction smelter needs sand to be smelted along with the lapis ore, so I'm gonna stick it where I already have sand automated so that it can just steal it from that pipe right there. It's actually quite ingenious if you ask me. But now you can see that I am smelting the ore automatically with the sand. The ore just coming from the storage crate that I had lying around. And I put the lapis into a compacting storage drawer. Now the slag is going into a normal storage drawer. And this is pretty good. I'm happy. Now that I can just let that run and get slag. It's a good thing, too, that I have a massive amount of copper, because I need a massive amount of copper wire for those solenoids. I would also have run out of red dye a long time ago if I didn't automate that. That was a very good and necessary decision. 10 stacks of solenoids should be sufficient for making enough solar panels for my stupid energy collector. Remember, this is for the energy collectors. This is what, like, all these solenoids and stuff are. Not to say that I won't need the solenoids later when I start making superconductor magnets for the Black Hole Fusion Reactor, but right now, the stuff there that I've got, all this garbage, it's just for the stupid solar panels. I'm a little bit salty when it comes to these solar panels, if you can't tell. I really need to automate quartz as well, and would you look at that, there is a quartzite vein. There actually is a way to automate it. I just need to find one of those veins. Here's a ton of iron pressure plates, which are needed for the basic solar panels, and at least I can start crafting these now, although my inventory's too full of garbage. Good grief. Well, I almost have enough. What I needed was 9 different little partial stacks of 27, and that, according to my mental math, that should be enough to make the 3 elite solar panels. I don't actually know if that's right, but we're gonna find out, I suppose. Either way, I have a lot of these solar panels. And then I realized that I can't actually make the second tier of solar panel because they need advanced plating, and advanced plating needs plastic. And I need, like, I don't know, over 20 stacks of plastic, and it takes forever just to get 32 plastic. So, you know, I've been complaining about plastic automation for a while. I guess it's time I actually did something about that, which means I need a phytogenic insulator. In other words, a machine that can grow trees for me automatically. Specifically, I can grow the wood. At long last, I finally can craft a phytogenic insulator. A machine that allows automation of almost every type of crop that exists. Most importantly for me, though, we can automate normal and food-producing trees, something the garden cloche can't do. This is why I was so eager to begin producing that high-quality fertilizer as well, because I need it for the garden cloche. Not the garden cloche, the phytogenic insulator. I can always use more coils. I try to craft additional of every single crafting component whenever I'm making them, which just saves a lot of time. In addition to that photogenic insulator, I need to make an energetic infuser, which is yet another charging station kind of thing. But in particular, it can create fluxed phytogrow, whatever. It like charges the fertilizer. It's kind of weird. You can see it up in the bookmarks area. It's kind of cool, but you can only make that fertilizer in the one machine. And unfortunately, this machine needs lithium ion cells, and we all know how fun that is. Oh no, the cells are accumulating power from my backpack capacitor, and now I can't even craft the machine with it. This is so sad. Well, I guess I could try to drain the power very slowly. This is a little bit too slow. It might just be easier to make new cells, so we're gonna do that. Hey, well, at least I can take this rich slag now. We can make rich phytogrow. That's a lot of phytogrow. Not that I'm complaining. It's very good to have a lot of it, especially because I'm going to need a lot of it for automating wood. Then I can take it and stick it in the energetic infuser, like I said, and it will infuse the phytogrow and make it even better, more powerful fertilizer. I actually need to make an augmentation thing before I can effectively use the garden growing machine. I already forgot what it's called. This is bad. I have to make a lumium out of glowstone to make lumium plates, which I need for the sapling infuser. I think that's what it's called. It's one of the miscellaneous augments. Yeah, that's what it's called, sapling infuser. So now I can stick this in the photogenic insulator. That's the right name. And it will happily grow saplings for me and produce the wood. Could we maybe not have a tornado right now? That would be kind of cool. I'm kind of in the middle of something. Again, I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone by simultaneously automating wood and plastic. What did I just say? Can we really please? I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. In fact, you know what? I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go over to my weather deflector. We're just going to kill the thunderstorm. I'm going to kill the tornado. I'm not dealing with this right now. Nice, now I can actually go do something. Alright, we upgraded a few times, and now I have 2 slots for augmentation, because I actually discovered there's another augmentation thing that I'd like to add to it that can help conserve fertilizer. So if I connect this back to the power, then all this stuff should get powered up again. And it also should be getting water now. It's actually should be running. Actually, no, it's not. It needs fertilizer. Once I give it the fertilizer, it should start producing. Ah, see, there we are. It's actually kind of slow, but it is producing the wood. And I think the wood actually already went through everything. Yeah, it produced 16 wood with one, I don't know, crafting process. It's all thanks to the fertilizer. And that wood is already well on its way to becoming plastic. If you're wondering why wood is even needed for plastic as well, I should probably mention it's because it gets turned into rubber, which then gets turned into plastic with the oil. I have no idea if that's realistic to real life or not, but that's what the mod is doing. Yeah, see, there's this other augmentation I can make. It needs signalium blend, which is, it's not that bad to make. Then I can make this augmentation, which will recycle the fertilizer most of the time, so I need even less of it than I would normally. Monoculture recycling, or cycle, or something like that. Not that I exactly have any shortage of fertilizer, but it's going to be even nicer now. I've also added a little mini electric furnace to this thing so that it will just auto smelt the raw plastic into plastic sheets, so it should be a fully automated system now. Assuming it continues to get wool, or not wool, assuming it continues to get oil, it should just work indefinitely. I need so much redstone for all these magnets. Because the magnets, it takes 4 stacks of redstone dust just to make one single stack of magnets. Speaking of redstone, I'm actually getting a lot from my my energy collector. Oh wow, this is going to take a while to create enough plastic, despite being automated. At least I have enough plastic that I can make a lot of speed upgrades and a lot of energy upgrades, which will make everything faster over here. These are for the nuclear craft machines. As long as you add somewhat corresponding amounts of each type of upgrade, then you can make it really fast and not use too much power. Which is good, given that I'm trying to make advanced plates for my solar panels. I need a lot of tough alloy, which I'm kind of making by hand still. Okay, this is not the right time. Can we not do the invasion again? I'm pretty sure we just had one of these, and instead of breaking through my wall, they're digging through my floor now. This is amazing. Nope, you're still not gonna grow. Not happening. Get out of here. Not even close. Well, I guess while I'm waiting, I'd like to kill 2 more birds with one single stone. I'd better stop that before all the birds are gone, but then again, birds are just a conspiracy theory created by the government. Gravitational stabilizers are blocks needed in the creation of a black hole fusion reactor. These blocks require laser focuses, which are only craftable in a reaction chamber, also known as yet another multi-block machine that I don't have yet. Among other things, blaze rods are also craftable with the reaction chamber, requiring only some nether quartz and lava. Just think of how much incendiary ammo I could create with an automated supply of blaze powder. It's a good thing I can make a lot of processors, because these machines, these blocks, need a lot of processors to craft. And I also need chemical laboratories for each of them. That's a little bit annoying. It needs cybernetic parts as well. Good grief, I mean, at least I have a fabricator, which I made early in the video, so I can actually craft the cybernetic parts somewhat easily. But again, I still need processors, so I guess I'll be going through this crafting again. At least I don't have to go mine more osmium. That's very helpful. And here are 4 elite control circuits, also known as processors. It's basically the same thing. So that's good for the heat ray focus thing. It's also good for the controller, but I'm still going to need a few more. Anyways, that should be everything. Thank goodness. I can go make this reaction chamber now. Although I don't have anything to put in it for the most part, so I'm going to go ahead and see if I can't find a quartzite vein. And would you look at that? That's literally the first one I tried, and it's in my base. That's so convenient. That's amazing. You would think I'd planned it that way, which I didn't, because I don't think there's any way to even like force a mineral vein to go in a certain spot. Let me just grab this unoccupied, unused excavator, and I'll move it over to my base and put it in the ceiling because it can magically dig out of the ground. That's how it works in this game. And there we are, look at that. It's just mining from thin air. You love to see it. Love to see the automated quartz. It also is giving me Sardis quartz, which is nice. I don't have a use for it right now, but I'll need it later. Oh, look at that. We got a little bit more plastic. Plastic update. So this machine is it's a 3 by 4 by 3. Actually, it's not a small machine, and I think it uses a significant amount of power as well, which, well, at least I've got high voltage power lines nearby. Alright, so I need to get the nether quartz ore over to that machine, and somewhere along the way I need it turned into quartz rods. It needs to go from the ore to the rods. So we're going to separate out the ore itself, and then we're going to drop it down the chute. An easy way for me to process the nether quartz ore is with the same induction smelter setup I used for the lapis ore. It actually works out perfectly because I already got tons of lapis, and nether quartz ore also provides rich slag when processed. And the way I need to get sand is I'm going to take this manufactory and I'm going to stick a cobblestone generator next to it, and the manufactory will manufacture the cobblestone into sand, because that's how that works. It's actually quite a simple process. I just need to make sure it's fast enough to produce sand. And boom, just like that, we've got 4 nether quartz being created per ore. And then here's another sequential fabricator, which I took the liberty of making. And now it can fabricate the quartz into quartz rods, which should make their way over to the reaction chamber, which they are not doing. So that's great and all, but before I completely turn on the blaze automation, I need to make these like laser focuses, which you use some melted redstone, destabilized redstone, and diamonds in the reaction chamber for. Although we seem to be having problems, I'm not actually sure what's going wrong here. I just realized I have to manually manipulate the settings of this machine while it's active to stop it from failing to craft. I wish I'd realized that sooner, because I already wasted quite a few diamonds on this. While it's not guaranteed to fail and break the item every time on its own, it's kind of annoying because it will break it fairly often, and that means my blaze rod production will be a little inefficient. This is the Black Hole Fusion Reactor controller recipe. Right now I'm missing tier 3 and 4 isolinear circuits, in addition to copious amounts of superconductor magnets for the fusion coil blocks. You know, if I couldn't double my dash, I would be in big trouble. I'm glad my thing is mining just fine though, and doesn't seem to be having any problems. I need to make these hardened fluid ducts so that I can transport lava from my little lava melter thingy over to the reaction chamber so that I can completely automate the blaze rods, which it's now doing. I mean, it's wasting a lot of the rods, but it's still worth it, getting the blaze rods. Okay, so I still need more ender pearls. Despite all the stuff that I did earlier to make ender pearls from other means other than killing endermen, I still need more because I haven't magically gotten any blizz rods for cryotheum, which means I have to go to the end. What better place to find and kill endermen than the end dimension? Anyways, let me go make a ton of titanium plates and use all my ender pearls that I just collected. I think I got over a stack of ender pearls. Well, 4 stacks, 16. You get what I mean. And that right there is an entire stack of superconductor magnets. Boy, is that expensive. That is a lot of dash and a lot of titanium. It's a lot of many things. Copper, iron, all this fun stuff. But I'm slowly plugging away at the fusion reactor controller. That recipe, we just made the holographic sign there. Make these little machine casing things. There's a lot of machine casings in this pack. These are not blocks, these are items. And there's my 9 fusion reactor coil blocks. That's what those superconductor magnets are for. It's about time I finally got all my plastic. Hey, at least I can finally go and make those advanced plates now, so I can keep working on those solar panels that I kind of had to take a break from. Oh yeah, this is very satisfying. Let me just go get some uranium being separated out so that I'm ready to make depleted uranium plates next. Well, yeah, I'm gonna have to go back to my space station pretty soon if I want to get these Mark III and Mark IV isolinear circuits. That's gonna be a bit of a pain, but I'll put that off as long as I can. It's a good thing I have so much lithium because I have to make a ton of tough alloy. I actually have to make as much tough alloy as I did plastic, which is a bit of a pain because I didn't automate tough alloy. I've just been slowly making it by hand in between other stuff. But there, I've actually made most of the advanced solar panels, which is tier 2 out of 4 that I have to make. The next tier is the DU solar panel, or depleted uranium solar panel. I don't really know why you'd want your solar panels to have depleted uranium in them. That seems a little bit hazardous. Oh my god, get out of my face. Don't you dare blow up near my very expensive ore wall. Tough alloy. Nice. Hopefully that should be most of the advanced plates that I need. And I also have more uranium-238 now, which is what you use to make depleted uranium plates. And that right there should be all of the depleted uranium plates that I need. Great, now I don't need normal solenoids, I need magnesium diboride solenoids. I'm pretty sure that's what they're called. And there's my 27 DU solar panels. Oh wait, this is... Oh, okay. I guess I must have miscalculated some stuff. At least I still have boron arsenide from other things, because that's not a fun thing to make. Last up is just elite plating, which is honestly going to be a lot easier than the advanced plating, because I don't need 20 some stacks of plastic. I already have calcium sulfate, I mentioned that before. That's the thing that I automated that I forgot I automated. And it might seem complicated, but it only takes water, sulfur, and nitrate inputs, and eventually it turns into calcium sulfate. It's pretty cool. There's my crystal binder, and that's the hardest part of the whole elite plate thing. Check it out, 36 elite plates. Let's go. Somewhere along the line, I messed up my mental math of how many resources I needed. In the good kind of way, though. Meaning I actually have quite a few extra elite solar panels. I guess I'll be set if I ever want to make even more energy collectors at some point. Well, I mean, I guess I'll just make them now. I only really needed 3 more at this moment. I mean, I could make my glowstone even faster, but I'm gonna start with 3 more. This factorizer block will split redstone blocks into redstone dust without using any power, thus making the automation process that much easier. So I'm gonna have 2 of these collectors creating redstone blocks out of redstone dust, and then I'm gonna have to figure out how to make the redstone blocks recycle. This setup works by transmuting redstone dust into redstone blocks, then recycling the blocks back into dust, some of which is used to self-perpetuate the system, and the rest of which is sent off to different energy collectors where it's turned into glowstone blocks. So now I've added 2 additional energy collectors where the redstone dust gets sent to, and these should be refilled with redstone dust from that factorizer block. At least that's how it's supposed to work, and it's supposed to target specifically glowstone. It's a little bit annoying getting it to initially select that, but now you can see it should be selected. And because I'm always missing something, I have to make a electrical steel Yeta wrench so that I can manipulate these Ender IO conduits. I mean, not to say it's not worth it. Ender IO conduits are literally the best ways for moving everything in the game. Without a doubt. Not just because you can put multiple types in one block. But yes, I now have my glowstone automated. Turning my attention back to the Black Hole Fusion Reactor controller, I must make a visit first to Mars to figure out why my production has stopped, and then to the space station to create tier 3 and 4 isolinear circuits. Here we are again. Let's find out what the problem is. No, get away from my thingy. No, stop it. Okay, I'm kind of invincible. Well, the excavator is actually not working. It looks like it's getting power. It is not getting power, in fact. Which is kind of what I suspected. I thought it might be because my gas turbine shut down. I assume it shut down from a lack of diesel at some point, but I have to restart it, obviously. It's one of those things where it can't restart on its own. It's a little bit annoying that way. Mainly because, I mean, I don't want to get into specifics, but you have to like power it up to a certain point and then cut the power, which I just did. And then it'll accelerate, it'll speed up to maximum speed, but you can't do that on its own. At least not very easily. I'm sure it'd be possible to make a system, but you could do it remotely, but I am not going to take the time to do that right now. While I'm here, I might as well not waste the opportunity to collect some more Parasite parts. There's a couple types that I'm specifically targeting. including the summoners, and then there's one other type that I don't remember right now, but I'll know when I see it. Oh nice, I finally got one of 2 orbs needed to craft the core thingy each living weapon needs. I've gotten enough stuff, more than enough stuff. I'm going home. Or I'm going to the space station. Well, yeah, this might take a little while. So there's a slight problem. Okay, like not really a problem, it's just that each of these circuits takes a minimum of 30 seconds to craft. So I think I'm gonna be sitting here a little while. Well, that took forever, and that's only the Mark III circuits. I still need some Mark IV circuits. Yay, 1 Mark IV circuit. We're getting there, slowly but surely. Home sweet home. I can add even more stuff to my collection of Parasite parts. One of these days I'm going to be able to make one of those weapons. But right now, this very day, I can make the Black Hole Fusion Controller, arguably the most difficult part of the whole thing, based just on the crafting recipe alone. When placed down, the controller displays a hologram of the rest of the structure and where it needs to be in relation to a gravitational anomaly. Uh-oh. I can't exactly break it. Oh, there we go. I needed a specific tool. Conveniently, there's a gravitational anomaly literally right above my head. However, without 4 gravitational stabilizers, this anomaly will tear apart my entire facility when I begin feeding it items to increase its mass. Glowstone check, 28 glowstone, let's go. You know, I think I'm going to take a day off from crafting. I'm a little bit crafted out at the moment. I think I'm going to do a little bit of building instead. Partially to fix my roof, which was all kind of made nasty from pollution, and I'd like to build some additional stuff around here. It's fairly unfinished on the inside of this building. I don't think we're making enough oil. It's possible that that is the issue. Here's where I need to place the reactor controller in relation to the gravitational anomaly. I guess the next thing to do, probably a good idea, would be to make those gravitational stabilizers. And that's where these laser focuses come in. So I need multiple of them for each stabilizer, and I need 4 stabilizers total. We have another problem. My Mars miner stopped producing again. Well, perhaps it's run out of fuel this time. So we still have oil left in this oil vein that the pump jacks are using, so I don't know why I would have run out of diesel at my mining outpost. That's weird. I'm gonna have to attend to that very soon. It's just, I don't want to right now because I'm trying to craft this stuff. I'm kind of in the middle of crafting gravitational stabilizers. It's a little bit important. Cool, that's 2 of them. That's half of what I need. Oh god, I'm tired. Well, this is kind of what it looks like. That's where it needs to go in relation to everything else. It looks pretty cool. Oh my goodness. That's not good. That could have been bad. Oh, thank goodness it dropped the blocks. I would have been so mad if it blew up my reaction chamber blocks and I didn't get them back. I was just trying to see how many blaze rods I had, and the creeper shows up and it's like... I don't have very much titanium left. I hope I have enough. I don't have it automated. It's not easy to automate, actually. Anyways, here are the last 2 gravitational stabilizers, so that makes 4 out of 4 for that. Fine, I'll go attend to my oil now. Maybe I'm not making enough diesel, still, for some reason. Perhaps this is because the oil throughput in my pipes is too slow from the pump jacks. I suppose I could try to pressurize my pipes. Or I could actually, I could just build a 4th pump jack. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Heavy engineering blocks are the bane of my existence. Why did I make the crafting recipe for them what I did? I am my own worst enemy. In more ways than one. Thankfully, there's barely enough room here for me to build a 4th pump jack. And it also is nice that the pump jacks don't take that much power relative to other things. Okay, well, there's 4 of these working now. It's going to drain the reservoir of oil even faster, but look at that. We're actually making enough diesel that it filled up the storage tank that's supposed to be filled with diesel. That means we're in the green. We're doing well now. We're in the black, whatever. Well, so I've never actually built a Black Hole Fusion Reactor before, and after looking up a tutorial, I realized I needed 2 matter decomposers to supply the controller with liquid matter, which is its own whole other deal that I'm not going to get into meaningfully right now. These things aren't actually that hard to make compared to some of the other pieces of the fusion controller. Except for one thing. Of course, though, since this is modded Minecraft, I have to make an entirely new machine just to make the refined glowstone for the decomposers. Although I don't really have anyone but myself to blame since I'm the one that made this mod pack. Alright, well, I'm here to figure out why my stuff is still not producing. Even though I was just here, I don't know what the problem is. Even the gas turbine is just fine. I am so confused. Oh, now I get it. My existing world spike was only covering a 3x3 chunk area, which only included the gas turbine and not the excavator. So if I create another world spike and put it next to the excavator, everything critical should continue while I'm off world. Remember how I got extra gold and copper a long time ago? Well, I'm glad I did because I'm here making yet another world spike without going home. This time it should be the last world spike that I need. Yeah, and I actually had to go back to the space station as well. I have to be here so I can make some Tier 4 Mark IV isolinear circuits. Maybe I was wrong when I said the matter decomposers were easy. Ugh, this is so darn slow. This is not good. You know, I could just go straight down this way. I've been meaning to do this, but I keep forgetting. See, look at that. It's so much easier. No rocket fuel expended, no hassle, nothing. I just fall into the sky, kind of like Master Chief. For a brick, I flew pretty good. Thank God we're actually getting stuff automatically from Mars now. It took long enough. Good grief. Well, I need to go back and I need to make that osmium infuser thing. So it's not actually that bad. It's a lot of steel plates, some duraluminum plates, linear actuators, some compressed dash. Then, well, basic gas tanks are actually very easy. There's our steel casings. Uh-oh. This is nearly everything for the osmium infuser machine. But now I really hate my past self because I'm missing cubic boron nitride. What is cubic boron nitride, you might ask? Well, let's just say it's one of those fun nuclear craft items that goes through half a dozen chemical reactor steps to produce. Starting from a combination of molten boron and hydrogen, the material progresses through several more steps, one of which requires ammonia. Hydrogen and ammonia, two rather annoying gases not easy for me to get in large quantities right this second. Ammonia is easily-ish created from rotten flesh in a fermenter, but I don't have an infinite supply of rotten flesh. I have some of it, but I don't have a lot of it. That's the issue. I do have a ton of hydrofluoric acid, though, which I can turn into hydrogen gas in an electrolyzer, so I suppose that'll work. I just actually have to go get a barrel and stick it in the hydrogen gas, or hydrofluoric acid output, because it was getting deleted before, but I can take a lot of it from that. If you're wondering, it's a byproduct of producing the calcium sulfate stuff. Well, here's molten boron, and here's hydrogen gas, so I suppose this is going to turn into, what's this turn into? Deborine? Something like that? I don't actually know what that is, but when you combine it with water, it will turn into boric acid, and then I also get the hydrogen gas back, so that's kind of cool. I do kind of need another fermenter, though. Well, here's some ammonia. I took some of my rotten flesh and put it in the fermenter, and I'm getting ammonia out of it. And another crystallizer. All these things I've made before, but they also got stuck in automation. That's the problem. I have to keep making duplicates of these machines. Either way, I can put this this solution into the crystallizer and get my hexagonal boron nitride, which then I have to put into a pressurizer, and then I'm pretty sure that'll get me my cubic boron nitride. Luckily, this stuff, while being tedious to craft, is pretty easy. It's all stuff I have. Nice, cubic boron nitride. Finally, osmium compressor, all for a little bit of refined glowstone, just so I can make matter decomposers. Again, I question myself, was it worth it? Well, I don't know, I guess we'll see. Very cool. 8 pieces of refined glowstone. Enough for 2 matter decomposers. All that remains for the reactor are fusion coil blocks and machine hull blocks. Having made fusion coil blocks previously, I already know that they mostly just need a lot of superconductor magnets. The machine hulls, on the other hand, each require a machine chassis, and each chassis needs a lunar sapphire. I don't have enough of said sapphires for all of the machine hulls, and rather than go mining on the moon, I've decided to sieve, I can never get that right, crushed obsidian to get normal sapphires, which I can use to craft lunar sapphires. So, I need to go build this little semi-automatic system for advanced sieving, but the good thing is I actually have some enchanted books for sieve meshes. There's a sieve fortune book and a sieve efficiency book, and I managed to put both of them on my diamond stiffened mesh. In other words, it should be faster and I should get even more stuff from it, which is exactly what I want. I just need to take a little bit of obsidian and stick it in my rock crusher, not to be confused with the other crusher. There's multiple things. Oh wait, I actually can't use that. That's a heavy sieve. I need a normal sieve. Conveniently, I have a normal sieve. I just have to steal it from an old automatic system that I had a long time ago. And now you can see it's taken in the crushed obsidian, and we're getting all these different gems from it. And the crafting recipe I created for lunar sapphires takes 8 normal sapphires, so I'm gonna need over a stack of normal sapphires. Now while I'm doing that, I can try to make more of the fusion coil blocks. But once again, I find myself in need of superconductor magnets and out of ender pearls, which means back to the end I go. It's going to be a glorious day once I finally unlock mystical agriculture, and I can grow stuff on plants like blizz rods. Here's the usual song and dance of crafting a gajillion different magnets, and you need so much wires. At least I have so much copper, because I need so much wires. It's bad. Well, we seem to have a lot of stuff now, and I've got more stacks of the crushed obsidian, so that's slowly making progress. We're getting there. We're getting there also with the superconductor magnets and the solenoids. My favorite thing to craft is superconductor magnets. There, a whole nother stack of them. That should be plenty for, actually, yeah, that's more than enough. I have some left over for my 9 fusion reactor coils. Now, 16 machine hulls. That's the last thing. Which means 16 of these chassis. Fun. That's why I needed 16 lunar sapphires, which I don't actually own yet. When in doubt, always make more of these various components than what you need, and you'll be happy later. That's one of my rules when I'm playing this mod pack. Always make more if you can. Which I proceeded not to follow my own rule here, because I made exactly 16 heavy engineering blocks. Yay, lead plates. Stack of lead plates for 16 machine chassis, steel chassis, whatever. There's a lot of chassis, if you haven't noticed. This is one type. So I have to craft 10 additional lunar sapphires, and that right there, we got enough for 8. So I need to grab a little bit more, but now I have 16 of my lunar sapphires. Quite expensive in normal sapphires, but it's totally worth not going to the moon. And my already existing titanium plates, combined with that, give me 16 machine hulls. In other words, all of the materials, all the blocks for a black hole fusion reactor. We're on day 82. That's pretty good time. Not gonna lie, that's pretty good. And with that, I actually can unlock the interstellar age. You can see right there, we just unlocked it. That was the quest that does it. That was the big culmination of the space age. And it even gave me more space-time equalizers as a reward. I'll take it. And I'll celebrate by making some incendiary shotgun shells, which I kind of need because it's an invasion night, but isn't it always? I'm going to start by adding in the gravitational stabilizers. It just seems like a good idea to stabilize the black hole that's right there. I don't really want to mess around with that. I don't want it to annihilate my entire base. That would be very sad. I'd have to load it back up. Well, okay, these things are in place. Let me try to add the fusion coils now. It's 3 of these behind some of those other controllers. So that's the wrong block. I don't want titanium plate. I want machine hull. Yes, please. Very cool. This should be a completed ring after one more block. Yep, that should be good for our reactor. So it kind of needs some more stuff, but it's almost ready. I believe everything is set up correctly, and I've begun feeding energy into the reactor controller. These diamonds should decompose into a significant amount of matter for the controller as well. Additionally, I'm using a cobblestone generator to slowly build up the mass of the gravitational anomaly by feeding it items. As the stored power, matter, and mass increase, we should start seeing some net power production. It is kind of satisfying to watch. I'll give it that. But still, a little suspicious. 70% charge, 50% matter, won't take much more matter, 75% matter, and now look at that, it's at 100% charge. Let me go try something. I'm a little bit concerned. What would happen if I powered this excavator with the output of the reactor right now? What would happen if I did that? It's not connected to any other power source. It's actually coming out of the reactor controller. Now, why is that? Why is it showing 0 net power, but it's still managing to power the excavator a little bit? Well, the power is at 100% in the core, and I've begun to form a concerning theory. You see, I've disconnected the reactor controller from my power grid, and it doesn't show internally any net power gain, but it's outputting some power to that excavator over there. And the internal power stored is managing to rise despite being at 100%, or at least reading as 100%. I even tried giving it some diamonds to see if I could increase the mass of the black hole faster. In other words, it may be able to output free infinite energy, which I saw some reports about online while looking at tutorials. And it might not seem like a bad thing, but it's kind of broken. Well, let me think about that for a little bit. Let me, while I'm thinking about that, craft another energy collector. And let me make this one just generate Eternalist fuel. That would be pretty cool. There's another fusion reactor. So, this video would have been done much sooner, but I took this opportunity to release a big update to the mod pack with many new changes I've been putting off for a while. You can find a full changelog on CurseForge, but the most important thing that will affect me right now is the removal of matter overdrive and its black hole fusion reactors. Yep, it's gone. Completely gone. Now that I actually have played through this part of the mod pack, I realize how silly it is that you build the matter overdrive fusion reactor at the end of the space age only to turn right around and build the nuclear craft fusion reactor at the start of the interstellar age. Not to mention, the matter overdrive fusion reactor is rather broken. Like, really broken. So I've moved the nuclear craft fusion reactor to the end of the space age instead of the matter overdrive one. This is what I'll be working on going forward. Oh, finally, I got the quest book to update. I had to go do that manually. I had to go delete the file in the world and then add the new file, and, well, I've redone a lot of the quest book. That's one of the things I did. You can see there's a lot more stuff in some of these tabs, and I reorganized a lot of it because it was kind of trash before. Not to say it's amazing now, but it's a little better. Oh, that's awkward. That is... I have not fixed that quest book reward yet. Luckily, at the time of this being recorded, I have not released the mod pack update, so that's just fine in the update. And unfortunately, I have to remove the interstellar age from myself because I have no longer actually completed it. I haven't built the fusion reactor from nuclear craft yet, and that's now the trigger for the interstellar age. So it was short-lived, very sad, no more interstellar age. We'll have to get to that a little bit later. I also seem to be missing some tools because I had a titanium axe and pickaxe. But on the bright side, I can actually make a spaxel hoe, or a spaxel, or whatever they're called. It's a multi-tool, and it works now. It was bugged previously. Unfortunately, the best Spaxel hoe uses my favorite resource, cubic boron nitride. That's what's used, and I have to make that. Why is the brine texture broken? What the heck is wrong with the brine texture now? That's so stupid. I have actually no idea how to fix that as well, because I have no idea why fluid textures randomly break. Okay, well, you already saw me make a lot of the cubic boron nitride, so I have to do the same thing but more, so I'm only going to show you guys the new stuff that I did to make it easier. And the first thing I did that's new, I'm doing right now, is I'm making another electrolyzer multi-block. And this thing takes water, and it quite quickly turns the water into oxygen gas and hydrogen gas. Now, normally I would want the oxygen, but right now I actually want the hydrogen, which is what I'm collecting, and I'll just end up deleting the oxygen here in a sec. The other thing I needed was ammonia, and I was getting ammonia from rotten flesh in a fermenter, but you can also get ammonia from another way, a way that needs nitrogen gas. And there's this block called a nitrogen collector, and all it does is it collects nitrogen gas and outputs it. And then I can take that nitrogen gas and combine it with some hydrogen gas in a chemical reactor, and at least I think it's a chemical reactor, and it will provide me some ammonia, which is nice because it doesn't need the rotten flesh. I don't have a zombie farm. Believe it or not, I actually don't have a lot of rotten flesh for some reason. I've made the hydrogen production even faster by adding more infinite water sources to the electrolyzer input. And now I've got 9 out of the 11 hexagonal boron nitride. I have enough of the fluid stuff ready that I'm just going through the various steps of. I have enough of that to make quite a lot more than 2 more of the pieces, so I'll have extra for whatever I might need in the future. Hopefully I never have to do this ever again, though. That would be nice. Well, at least I can go ahead and make these tools now, so I think it'll be worth it. It literally combines pretty much all the tools into one thing. I mean, I don't need it for a sword or anything like that, but it'll be great for the axe, pickaxe, shovel, even a hoe, I guess. It's nice. It's nice that it works now. And the best part, I didn't mention, you might have seen it, but it has 9,000 durability, which obviously could be a lot more with unbreaking. Hence the reason I'm at the enchantment table right now. I'm trying to get some kind of decent enchantment, some efficiency, some unbreaking on it. None of these are things I really want. I don't want soulbound. I already have a gravestone when I die. It's not helpful. When in need of XP, simply farm blazes for a little bit. Oh, look at that, an XP boost enchantment. Speaking of experience, I'll take that. I mean, it only gave me XP boost, but sure. I guess I'll take that. And I can combine it with the mending book that I already had. I think I got it a video or 2 ago. Maybe it was even this one. It was from a Galacticraft dungeon. But now I should never actually break the multi-tool, which would be nice. So, remember how I said fusion reactor from Nuclear Craft? I mean, that's what we got to do. And one thing I'm going to do, since I expended a ton of time making crafting materials for that matter overdrive reactor, which I deleted and lost, I am going to, whenever I get to that point, spawn in an equivalent a number of solenoids, equivalent to how many I expended making on that matter overdrive reactor, because I need a ton of the same stuff for the Nuclear Craft fusion reactor. And I don't want to waste a ton of time making that again. I don't have to do that right this second, but at some point I'm going to do that. Ah, a return to magic. The tier 3 crafting table needed to make the fusion core needs a whole lot of star metal, luminescence, and, if I'm not mistaken, a celestial crystal with maxed out attributes. All things I'm in quite short supply of. Also, I still need a lot of compressed desh, and compressed desh now requires osmium, which is, instead of tritanium, that's one of the things I changed, since tritanium doesn't exist anymore. On the bright side, I've added an excavator vein that includes osmium. There was an excavator vein that used to give you Cerdis quartz, among other things, and it no longer gives you Cerdis quartz for other reasons, and instead it gives you osmium. Unfortunately, I had already found a vein of this, but it seems to be empty. It's at -1 ore. That's not very good. So I have to find a new vein of pegmatite. Oh look, a quartz vein, a new quartz vein, that's nice. I think that my existing quartzite vein is probably gone because I kind of changed that. Ooh, an oil shell vein, that's nice because that includes aquamarines. Aquamarines from Astral Sorcery. Finally! Pegmatite vein. Oh my god, I've been here a lot longer than it might seem if you're watching the video, but that took a long time to find. I had to go through a lot of chunks to get that. So, let me remove an old unused excavator and move it over to a new vein, one that will give me osmium ore. By the way, I actually have memorized the way you build these now. I'm very impressive. And I need to touch grass. This vein actually makes 4 different types of ore. Probably the most useful other type being lithium, which it's nice to get more, but I don't have a ton of lithium. Okay, well, we're getting power now. Uh-oh, wait, what? Wait, why is it not mining? What the heck? Oh no, did I screw up the code or whatever for this? This has happened before. Actually, no, I didn't. It was actually fine. It's not that I didn't screw up something, I just didn't screw up the code. What I did screw up is I realized I didn't quite build it in the chunk all the way. That's a really stupid mistake. Of all the things to mess up, that's actually more embarrassing than messing up the script for the new excavator veins. That's kind of bad. Well, on the bright side, at least it's working now. Despite the zombies and despite my own stupidity. I'll take it. So I've been looking at this and I realize I need a tier 3 crafting table to even make the fusion core. And I don't have a tier 3 crafting table, so there's not even a lot of point in me working on the fusion reactor components if I can't even make them. Like I physically cannot craft the core. So I might as well turn my attention to making a tier 3 crafting table, which actually means that I need a total of what, 8 tier 1, or no, I need 4 tier 1 crafting tables to make 2 tier 2 crafting tables. And then those tier 2 tables make a tier 3 table. Good grief. That was confusing. I'm sorry, you probably didn't understand that. Anyways, all this stuff takes a lot of black iron, which is a combination of titanium and thorium. Not exactly iron, but it's whatever. And now the basic stuff, it needs illumination powder instead of luminescence. So I don't actually have enough illumination powder. We're starting to get into magic again. This is some astral sorcery stuff. This is kind of how I tied magic into the mod pack. At least I happen to have several stacks of glowstone from my glowstone automation, which is great because a lot of this stuff takes glowstone. What's not great is my lack of aquamarines. So I kind of need to go looking around my rivers and get as much of the aquamarine shell as I can, because I'm going to be needing a lot of them. This should be enough. It's also finally nighttime. I was kind of waiting around for it to be nighttime so that I could craft this stuff. So how a lot of astral sorcery works is you can only do it at nighttime, unsurprisingly. But anyways, I have a lot of illumination powder now, so I can go ahead and make the 4 tier 1 tables. But the problem is the tier 2 tables, it needs luminescence, which is an infused version of illumination powder. Infused with starlight, no less. And unfortunately, every single piece of luminescence takes an entire bucket of starlight. And starlight is only created by slowly collecting it in these basins with the help of aquamarines. And occasionally it breaks the aquamarines. And that is my problem. Oh, look at that, a flare. I don't know what that is, but it's kind of cool. It spawned right next to my stuff. Right next to my light wells. This is how you actually get starlight, liquid starlight. Yeah, so I'm gonna need way more starlight than I'm currently producing. I may even need to automate starlight. And unfortunately, that means I will need a lot more aquamarines. Because you can see, the aquamarines will break from time to time. They don't just sit there forever. And once they break, then no more starlight for you. Yeah, I only have 10 aquamarines left. That's not gonna cut it. But what did I say earlier? I got a core sample drill that told me there was an oil shale vein not that far away, or some kind of shale vein. I don't know if it's actually oil. It does include oil sand, but most importantly, like I mentioned, it includes aquamarine shale. So I can actually use the excavator to get aquamarine ore automatically, which is exactly what I intend to do. I have another excavator that was sitting unused over an empty vein, which I can bring over here and start it on mining some aquamarines. I mean, plus it gives me sand and oil sand, and if I need more oil or bitumen, I can turn the oil sand into stuff, so that's kind of cool. Yay, aquamarines, let's go. So I mentioned I wanted to automate Starlight, or I might need to, and that's exactly what I'm going to do now. So why don't I make a big tank, like an elite tank. Get out of my face, chicken. I'm going to make this elite tank, and I'm going to also get some conduits, some fluid conduits, because Ender IO conduits are amazing. Have I said that before? I feel like I've mentioned that. I probably have, but we're going to say it again. So these pressurized fluid conduits are what I want. I don't need very many of them. That should be enough. So if I stick these underneath the light wells, I can configure them so that they extract the liquid starlight. And then I can make it so that they dump the liquid starlight into the elite fluid tank that I just crafted. And you can see here, it actually is already put a little bit in there. I can store a lot of buckets in there, by the way. That's why it's an elite tank. Next, I can take my my item conduits, and since this is Ender IO, I can stick them in the same block as the fluid conduits, and it's amazing. And I can use them to insert aquamarines into the light wells. At least I should. Hang on, what's wrong? Something's messed up. Okay, there we go. You see, now it put the aquamarines in there, and it's automatically slurping out the starlight and putting it in my tank. Cool, so I've actually automated starlight now, assuming I can continue to give it aquamarines. Which I should be able to. I mean, look at, I've got 45 of the ore, and that's going to give me a whole lot of aquamarine per ore. I think it's like, I think I'm getting 6 of the aquamarines for every single block. That's really good. We're getting there. Got 13 buckets of starlight now. I can make some of the tier 2, the advanced components for my 2 tier 2 tables. Try saying that 5 times fast. I'm not gonna. Yes, here we are. It's the 2 tier 2 tables. Unfortunately, I still need more luminescence for the tier 3 components, but I also need a crap ton of star metal ore. And star metal ore is a little bit difficult to get, especially when you're in a tornado. That makes everything more difficult, as you would expect. So right now the easiest way for me to get star metal ore is by taking iron ore and going over to one of these ruins that has a crystal in it. And then what I can do is I can take the crystal and link it to these ore blocks, and it should transmute them into star metal ore. Should being the operative word. Okay, here we go. It turns out that it has to be nighttime and it has to be exposed to the sky. And since those things are now true, it's transmuting my iron ore into star metal ore. Despite it being magical ore, I am able to double it though with some of my existing machines, so I'm not going to need a huge amount. Although it seems to be daytime now, and I think that's going to put a halt to my star metal production. Yep, we're not getting any more. Oh, wait. Yep, we're not getting any more. Let's go back. Why is this machine running out of power, and why am I not being electrocuted by this wire here? Oh no, we seem to have wiring problems. This is no good. I need to figure out what's happening, and I need creepers to not blow my stuff up. This is making it even worse. Can't a dude just fix his wiring in peace? Yeah, even the wires down here are broken. I don't know what the deal is. I mean, now there's power in that. It's almost killed me, actually. The creepers are coming back. Oh no, that's the problem. The wires are burning out. There's too much power trying to go through them. That's the line that goes to the excavators eventually. I think it's because there's 2 excavators on that line plus some other stuff. It's bad. Well, I was able to fix the wiring problem, and it's all fine now, but that was more annoying than it needed to be. Not that I've shown a lot of it, but I've been here a while making luminescence. I needed over 40 luminescence for the tier 3 table for all of that stuff. But at least now I'm able to make all of the crafting component things for the table. Can even start assembling it now. There, we've got that. Put in my star metal, my 6 additional star metal ingots. Then I can make my 12 additional elite components. And now all that I am missing is a celestial crystal. Bum bum bum. So I need to go and get rock crystals. I'm out of rock crystals. I used all of mine, and that's how you make celestial crystals. And I also want to go retrieve, this is completely unrelated to anything. I want to retrieve my painting machine from my mountain nuclear base thingy that I built a while ago that this train track goes to. While I'm there, I can go digging for rock crystals, but I also want the painting machine. Oh, good grief. There's zombies and there's parasites. This is not a great time. Okay, here we are. Here is a old nuclear reactor that's no longer functional, and right in the corner, this is what I'm looking for, is a painting machine. It can paint blocks with other block textures, like I can paint cobblestone with steel block textures. That's the main point. In order to make a celestial crystal, I first need a rock crystal, which is only easily located at nighttime while holding a particular wand in your hand. As I mentioned, I would try to find rock crystals, which I have now done, and wow, I get a lot with fortune. That's way more than I expected. That actually should be plenty. There's also a suspicious number of parasites up here. Oh my god, he's zooming. He's zooming a lot. This is a bit of a strange fight on this frozen lake. Good grief, that was insane. Oh my god, what is that? Well, it's day 799, and I'm going home. I can't actually make my celestial crystals until it's nighttime again, because I need additional star metal ore, and we all know how that works. So I will have to do something else until it's nighttime, but I have an idea. I'm gonna mow my lawn. It's a great idea, right? You know, I really have a strange need for some steel chain link fences to put up around my lawn to keep my freshly mowed lawn nice and safe. Well, it's nighttime again. Here's some more star metal ore. I really only needed 4 of it. You see, I need to put the star metal ore here on the ground. Well, not really on the ground. It's in the air, but you get the point. Celestial crystals are created by dropping a rock crystal and star metal dust into a pool of liquid starlight. After a few moments, a celestial crystal cluster is formed and must grow for a certain amount of time. The growth is sped up by having the cluster grow on top of star metal ore. Now I just have to wait a little bit. Oh, we got one. Oh, we got another one. Nice. So it formed this celestial crystal cluster. Now these things have to grow on their own a little bit more, but they are certainly not ready to harvest yet. Which is a little unfortunate because it's day 800. I suppose I will do a little bit more while I wait because it's day 800, but I really want to get those crystals before the end of the video. I'm going to go back to my lawn. I'm going to completely rip my lawn up because, well, who needs a lawn anyways? And we're going to replace it with coarse dirt, which can't grow a lawn. Oh yeah, no more lawn care for me. Oh, that's perfect. That's so much nicer looking. I am a big fan. Now I'm going to stick my painted cobblestone that looks like steel blocks. We're going to put it here in between the gaps in my steel fence. Now we're going to make the steel fence 4 blocks tall, but I'm not done. I've got more plans. You see, there's this nice thing called razor wire, and we're going to use it to keep nasty mobs like these horses and these skeletons out of my yard. Even the pigs don't like me. Nobody does. 3 stacks of razor wire. I could do a lot with this, and unsurprisingly, when you walk in it, you start to take damage, and you get slowed down like cobwebs, so naturally we're going to stick it at the base of my fence. And then we're going to put it on top of the fence as well, so we got double layers of razor wire. Nobody is getting in or probably out of my my yard anymore, except for me. So, to check on the rock crystals, it is definitely still day 800. Don't worry about it, it's just fine. To check on these, it looks like we got at least one of them ready to harvest, and look at that. 1 celestial crystal. Did I call them rock crystals? I think I did. It's a celestial crystal. It's not exactly the correct correct size, correct sharpness, correct purity, all that, so that I can actually craft the tier 3 table, but I can remedy that with a few things like starlight. But I'm afraid that's all I've got time for. It's a good run. I can't wait for the next video where I can build a Thanksgiving dinner factory in my new razor wire protected compound. I need to add turrets still, and I'm pretty sure I can even electrify the razor wire as well. This is gonna be so epic. Well, I did build a Black Hole Fusion Reactor in this video. I mean, I might have deleted it right afterward, but I still built it nonetheless. But there is still one fusion reactor that is available to me, and I seem to find myself rather lacking in the fusion reactor department right about now. As always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe below. Additionally, my Patreon SMP server using this mod pack is restarting with a new update about the time this video goes up, so if you're looking to jump into an SMP, now is a great time. And by the way, big shout out to my patrons, you guys are awesome, I appreciate the support. Thanks for watching, hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video, or live stream. Bye.